So that's that adjusted. Okay, so what we're going to do now is attach, let's first of all have a look at the material. I notice there's a crack there, so this is going to be the back of the bowl, because we don't want that crack ending up being sort of in the lip of the bowl. So, and that side looks fine. It's only a very, very small crack there, but it's going to ruin things if we're not careful. Okay. So all you simply do is sort of choose the rough center, like so, just roughly, and just get some ordinary sort of wood screws, not too long, and just pop them in. Okay, so now we get our material, get that out of the way, just offer it up to the lathe. Never turn the motor on and let the motor wind this in. I've lost count how many times I've seen people do that, asking for trouble. So just put it on there, wind it on. You can see it's a little bit off center, but that's okay. This is only a demonstration piece. We're just going to make a very, very small bowl, and yeah, that'll be alright, I think. So don't forget, this is going to be the base of the bowl, this is going to be the top of the bowl. Okay, so your tool rest should be adjusted about halfway, about center height, thereabouts, maybe a little tiny bit below. And then what you want to do is find out the furthest part of the material that's sticking out, and you want about 1/8 of an inch, which is about 3 millimeters clearance here. Okay, now then, when this starts up, it'll wobble a little bit, because you know, it's like an eccentric, it's a little bit out of balance. So we'll start it up. You're going to make sure you're on the lowest setting too, which is about 650 RPM for this particular lathe. And at the end of this wood turning, I'll explain to you where to get such a lathe in your region. Okay, so I'm going to start with, this is actually a spindle gouge, so I'm going to start with that. Let's just put my face mask on. I got a full face mask. It's you know, you've always got to wear the protective gear when you're using these sort of tools. Now just present the tool. You might find it a little difficult with this wobbling around. See, it's vibrating. Now always keep your hand or fingers this side of the tool rest. You can't come into any harm then. So you just present the edge of the cutting edge of the tool roughly where the material is, and feed it very quietly. See, I'm only taking a very, very small amount off. Alright, push in a bit there now. Alright, like that. You see the action I'm doing? I'm just sort of presenting the tool, and you can see sort of a ghosting effect where the material is, so you know, it's not a difficult thing to find where the material is. So I'm just pushing in a little bit and working my way back, just removing as much of the high spot of the material as I can, as quick as I can. Okay, so we're about half an inch over. Let's shut that off a minute. So we're about half an inch over now. So that's really, for this lathe, about the maximum that you'd want to have overhang, because then it starts to impart the movement onto you. So we'll just move this in a bit, and 1/8 of an inch again. Turn the material around, make sure it's not going to touch, and we can start again. So really much of the same thing here. It's just work a little bit at a time and work your way down. So without you getting too bored, what I'll do is I will cut the video now, and till I've got this machine down. It's very much the same process here all the time. So. Really nice piece of wood, actually. Move him in a bit closer. There's that crack. So we'll machine that out now. Okay, I quite like that. That looks very nice in the sidewall. Oh, that looks nice too. Some of these imperfections, you know, in the back, in the sidewall of the bowl, you know, when it's all sanded up and, you know, whether you put varnish or whatever finish you want to put on it, really makes the bowl pop. So I'm going to leave that for the time being, and I'm going to work this around. I'm going to put what they call a tenon on here, so I can hold it with the chucker when I turn it around to scallop the inside of the bowl out. So let's take this around a little. Change tools. And I'm going to face off this and just put a small tenon on it. That's like a dovetail, as it were. Okay, I've faced off the base now. What I want to do is just machine a slight tenon in here so that I can hold it with the chuck. And a little bit bigger than that maybe. There. So we're going to make a tenon that's about that size. Just want to re-establish that again now. Maybe a little more. Okay, I'm happy with that now, so I'm going to put my chuck on there and we'll turn it around and scallop the inside out. Okay, so we just put our chuck on here, then put our bowl, set our bowl into the jaws, it's sometimes a good idea, I find anyway, to get your tailstock and just push it in like that. Helps the chuck draw it in.